feel bad about yourself? Or do you just feel like you need to improve yourself? The pitfalls of thinking you need to reinvent yourself today on Reinventing You. How's it going? I'm Amelia Sims. This is Reinventing You, the channel where you can be inspired to take your own reinventing journey so that you can live a life of joy, fulfillment, and purpose. I post twice a week on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and I'm so glad that you are here. I like to start a conversation wherever I am, so I invite you to do that as well. If you will drop a comment below and let's get chatting about how good you feel like you need to be. Today's video is all about, are you good enough? One of the pitfalls of thinking, oh, I need to reinvent myself is the idea that you're not good enough. Now, I have to say that is probably one of the pitfalls we all fall into. And we have to be really careful. If you feel like you're just a really bad person and you need to make changes, there may be more going on than just, changing your career or making major decisions about your lifestyle. There may be other things that you need to talk to a professional. And I've said this before, if you're going to reinvent yourself, two ways that you can really help is to have a coach and have a counselor. You may not agree with counseling, or you may already have a counselor, so maybe a coach is the way for you to go, or maybe you just need a mentor, a friend that you can depend on who's not just going to say, yeah, you're right, but is really going to make you think. Now, reinventing yourself is about feeling better about yourself. I mean, joy, fulfillment, and purpose, those are going to make you feel much better about yourself. However, we have to be really careful. Are we really trying to feel better about ourselves, or are we just really stuck in a negativity zone where we think, I'm such a bad person, I'm such an awful person? And believe me, I have been there. I've been there where I've said, I'm a terrible pastor, I'm a terrible wife, I'm a terrible mother, I'm a terrible person, a terrible Christian. I've given myself all kinds of labels. And I've talked about this before, but sometimes you need to change the story that you're telling yourself. So if you see the link up here, you can go there, and it talks about how you can change your story that you tell yourself so that you will feel better about yourself. Some of the questions that you have to ask yourself if you're kind of feeling I'm not good enough, or I'm feeling bad, or I'm not feeling like I'm not where I need to be, or whatever it is that you're feeling about yourself. These are emotions, what I'm talking about. If you feel like you've got to constantly put somebody else down so that you can feel better about yourself, or something is happening, something good is happening in somebody else's life, and you really can't feel joy for the other person. You really can't feel gratitude. You really can't celebrate with them. You're simply thinking, man, I wish that were me, or man, I'm so jealous. This is just not fair. And it's hard to really kind of be with them. Or if you can't find anything in your own life that you are grateful for, then that may be a time to really say, okay, I've got to make some changes so that I feel better about myself. It could mean reinventing, or it could just mean, and this can be part of your reinventing, but it may not be a reinventing part, is to love yourself. As a Christian, as somebody who's a pastor, I have always said that the understanding that Jesus said, love your neighbor as yourself, is very hard for us to understand because we're so caught up in the who is my neighbor question that Jesus himself got asked. One of the important parts of what Jesus says is that loving yourself part. And that is sometimes the hardest thing that we can do, especially if we're feeling bad about ourselves. It's hard to love ourselves. There's so many things on the internet recently about loving yourself, but I am going to point out a link up here by Julia Christina Counseling that might be helpful about loving yourself. And there's so many ways that you can do this. One of the things that I have to do is simply sit down and tell myself that I'm a good person and that I'm loved. And for me, that's I'm loved by God, I'm loved by my family, I'm loved by my friends, I'm loved by my dog, my cats. You just have got to feel that love and be open to it. Now, that may not be something that's helpful for you, but for me to love myself, I have to understand that I am loved by others. And with that, I have to realize that I am a lovable person. I'm a good person. I'm not, inherently evil or bad or whatever. And I have to really say, okay, I am worth being loved. I am worth the attention that I can give myself. I am worth doing things for myself. And sometimes that's really hard for me, especially now that I'm not working, because I feel guilty that I'm not working. I'm not bringing any income into the home. And so I feel like I have to overcompensate for that, rather than just simply appreciating what others are doing for me to support us in the household. So how are you feeling about yourself? Do you feel loved? Do you feel like you love yourself? Is that something that's a challenge for you? I would love to hear your comment. If you'll drop a comment below and let me know what's going on with you. Have you ever had a time in your life where you didn't feel loved, or you didn't feel like you were a good person? Or if there was a time that you knew that you had to do something to love yourself, what did you do? I want to hear about it. I want to take a minute to just thank you for watching this video, and I appreciate you. You help me, and I want to help you. I hope that you have been inspired some way to know that you are loved. I'm Amelia. This is Reinventing You. Have a great one.